Are you excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows? I bet you are, because I definitely am. I think this is gonna be one of the greatest things that happens this year, and I can't personally wait for it. I can literally smell the money. I'm gonna farm this so hard, it's not even gonna be funny, okay? It is gonna be 20 videos a day about how stupid bad Assassin's Creed Shadows is, because it's gonna be all justified, because it's gonna be that bad. Holy moly, this is the second coming of Starfield, boys.
We're just over a month away from the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and we are seeing the attacks on gamers ramp up. And now, an Assassin's Creed news account says that they want to remove grifters from gaming completely. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the
Do it.
community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, this is going to
Support mommy. Do I need to say more?
continue to happen, and it's really only going to get worse. Over the past decade, since the beginning of Gamergate 1, we have seen a lot of attacks on gamers, but since Gamergate 2 started almost a full year ago, it's really ramped up. We're constantly seeing hit pieces, and as a gamer, it's really shitty to see.
I don't think Gamergate 2 is real until Anita Sarkeesian gets to speak at the UN again, okay? When that happens, then I will officially admit that Gamergate 2 is real. But other than that, I don't think people honestly care. I think it's just a fancy buzzword that insane people, like... What was Alyssa Mercanti? Yeah, the one that is currently trying to sue Smash JT. That one is using, and that's pretty much it. It's just a useless buzzword at this time. It's the same as calling someone a chud, a racist, a Nazi, and all of those great things. You know, no one cares. No one cares.
So many outlets and also news sites attack us for criticizing games. I get that they want to protect games. I want games to come out and be good, and then we won't have to protect them because they'll simply be amazing pieces of content. But if you are allowed to defend a company, we are allowed to criticize a company. And if you're going to defend a game, I'm also allowed to criticize it if I don't like it. And I am not a fan of what I've seen of
Bro!
Assassin's Creed Shadows so far. It seems that Ubisoft put the least amount of effort possible into hiring people for this game, into the development of this title, of even the historical accuracy of things like reenactment banners and the way characters would talk and the way that they would act. I mean, they put hip hop music behind Yasuke's combat. That's pretty shitty of them. But now, an Assassin's Creed news account is
You know what's the best part about all of this? I honestly disagree with Mommy Vera here, because I personally think Ubisoft have absolutely put the most effort ever in this game. There is not a single other Ubisoft title in existence or in the future that is gonna receive so much effort from them. And it's just the fact that this is how their misplaced effort and stupidity show and glow, okay? The fact that they by some guy, a white dude who is a Japanese lore historian or something like that, and he's like, oh yeah, he was a samurai, but how about buying my book also that explains to you more that Yasuke was a golden god samurai of Japan? Okay? If they got the architecture wrong, they... Listen, one of the funniest things that I saw in Assassin's Creed Shadows is the fact that for some reason roofs have like, I don't know what's it called, airway duct or something like that that you can just open from the top. Like, why the fuck would old houses have that? Don't know. Have I ever seen that in reality? No, not in any architecture. In fact, it's just wild. Okay, it's just sad. It's gonna be shit. It's gonna be sad.
declaring it wants to remove so-called grifters from gaming. Now, this is not ran by any developers, this is not an official account, but it does still have a significant following, and that means that they are going to have people who are going to ultimately share their posts and agree with their posts. And if there's one thing about the internet, it's that
Enough! I've watched long enough. I'm not going to let the grifters way turn my hobby into nothing. What do you? It's already nothing. What we're kind of fighting to make it into something, not nothing, you dolt. Imagine how sad these people are that they are looking at the current state of Assassin's Creed Shadows and they're like, whoa, this is cool. Jesus Christ. How much emptiness is there? These people literally prove that the fact that the space between molecules is too fucking damn large, okay?
if you post publicly, we are also allowed to react to it. And now the account is declaring there is no room in the Assassin's Creed community for racism, misogyny, hate, agitation, lies, death threats. And it concluded everyone who doesn't stick to it will be blocked. So it's time to reclaim gaming, which is funny because
Damn.
activists are really the only ones that have a hold on gaming right now, at least when it comes to inside of the industry. But of course, I agree with these things. There is no room anywhere for death threats and for hatred and for things like racism. But are you really going to tell me that some of the developers behind this project do not hate the very people that they are making games for? Are you really going to sit here and say that Yves Guillemot, the CEO of Ubisoft, has no hatred in his heart for gamers? Because he certainly does.
I mean, I wouldn't pass all of Ubisoft at this point openly just hating white people. Well, they are majority white, probably. Bruh, it's not even close, probably.
He just a few months ago had complained that Star Wars Outlaws failed and said it's because gamers' expectations are too high. Yeah, my expectations are pretty high.
True. Imagine wanting a game to just barely function and you can't even get that. God damn it, us and on high expectations. The next thing he's gonna do is call us chuds. I'm looking forward to that. I like the name. I think it sounds cool.
High when you expect me to pay $70 to $130 for a game that I bought that was so broken I could not even finish it. Yes, my expectations are going to be high when you
You know what she's talking about? So there was this bug. If you made it to the point in the game where the bug happened, you couldn't finish the game. And after Ubisoft fixed it, they implemented no solution for people who were at that bug. There was no solution. They were never able to finish the game. They were bugged out of completing it. And Ubisoft was like, well, I guess you should just make a new save and start over, I guess. Ba-ba-da! Yeah, it was great.
you constantly are pumping out products that we do not like. So we expect more the next time a release rolls around. Just look at 2024, for example. Skull and Bones, we had been waiting so long for it came out, it was a flop. X Defiant.
To be fair, I was not waiting for Skull and Bones in the slightest. But you know, that's maybe just me. Maybe there was a huge group of people waiting for that stuff to drop.
We had been waiting a long time for, had been delayed for several years, came out, and it flopped. Star Wars Outlaws, we got Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor, which were amazing games. Those sold upwards of 15 million copies combined. Star Wars Outlaws couldn't even manage 2 million. And I'm not saying 2 million isn't a lot of people to have playing your game and buying your product, but it isn't the number.
For a triple A game, 2 million is a complete failure, by the way, if you're wondering. I'm trying to check currently Twitter, by the way, to find some of the best Star Wars Outlaws failures, but I currently can't seem to find them for some reason. Well, it is what it is, I guess. Also, my internet's kind of screwed currently. I don't know what's happening. This.
And if I do, I can.
Oh, I know what that is. We're not gonna watch it. Okay.
That Ubisoft clearly expected. They put the most amount of money they ever had towards the marketing budget for this game. They probably expected 5, 6, 7 million copies sold across all platforms, and on Steam, it can't even top 5,000 people playing it. I mean, that is terrible for Star Wars and
Yep.
for Ubisoft. And this is just what happens when you have people behind companies who do not care about making
It is terrible, but to be fair, it's just another day in the life for Star Wars and Ubisoft failing.
Making products for gamers and treat us as walking wallets. Maybe you, as a news site and as a Ubisoft fan site, should question Ubisoft so maybe they will make higher quality products and keep actually trying to move this franchise you claim to care about so much forward, because all they are doing is taking 20 steps back. We have been asking for an Assassin's Creed set in Japan for years and years. And what do they give us? Yasuke and No Way. And they seem like fine characters, I suppose.
They don't seem like fine characters, okay? Don't try to pretend to be nice, Vera. Everyone knows you hate this. Everyone knows you don't like those characters. And that's reasonable, because they are complete aberrations of what you would expect. Yasuke is the legendary god black samurai that secretly built and made Japan great, and Noe is a literal twink that we can't still figure out the gender of. There is nothing to like about this. There is nothing. This is the reason why Vogue can't build anything, because people don't. People often question because they don't understand why is Vogue so bad in gaming. Well, even if Vogue is not on the nose, any kind of wokeness is detrimental to a game because of one simple reason: it limits what can be done. If you want to be woke, aka inclusive, progressive, and all of these things, that means that in a game you can't have anything that's even remotely racial. You need to insert characters with disabilities, different skill colors, ethnicities, funny fucking stupid accents, and a lot of things like that just to be inclusive. You can't literally touch certain subjects, and people, and this is the biggest one probably, your evil persons can't even be evil persons. They need to be like morally kind of vague or some shit like that in the worst ways possible, because evilness doesn't really exist because, reasons. And that's why all of these games will always fail. There is no bright shining light at the end of the tunnel for them.
Pose, even though they are not accurate. Look at Yasuke. He was more of a retainer in real life than a full blown samurai, but they're.
Well, actually, the reality is most likely he was bought by Nobunaga as a funny slave animal. That is the most likely true explanation of Yosuke. That he was just like a circus clown bought because it's exotic. It is what it is. Hey, I didn't give him a hip hop background from fucking America, not Africa, when he fights. Why look at me?
Pumping up his story so that they can put him on a pedestal and say, oh, he deserves to be a lead in our game. They hired a historian who really knows nothing about the man Yasuke truly was. They are allowing you
That's the
to
bookseller.
romance all sorts of characters in this game. You can have LGBT romances when there was no indication this individual was interested in any sort of LGBT relationships. They have no respect for the historical individual that this person was. And with No Way, they basically have free reign to do whatever they want because she is a completely fictional character. But it just seems.
She? Noah is not the twin? I didn't know. Damn.
That they do not care about fans and making what we want, what we are going to buy. And now, of course, you've got these fan sites attacking us. Somebody asked, what if there are people who just don't like the fact that a company refuses to respect a culture and its history, but isn't trying to promote racism, misogyny, and hate? And they said, if you say it in a normal way, it's fine. Oh, okay, so if it's normal to them, classic, you're not allowed to actually speak the way you want. And they feel they're such an authoritative figure when it comes to Ubisoft that they can sit here and say, oh, you have to respond the way I want you to, which is really terrible. And
man, where have we heard that in the past 3 days?
It is a tactic admission that it is Ubisoft, the developer of Assassin's Creed Shadows, who is promoting and pushing much of the things the account accuses so-called
oh, damn.
grifters of doing, and the evidence of Ubisoft doing so is very long. First, the company worked with author Thomas Lockley to promote the idea that one of the game's main characters, Yasuke, was a legendary samurai. In fact, Ubisoft's executive producer for its
That's the guy who wanted to sell his book, by the way.
Assassin's Creed franchise had actually told the New York Times that the company is going beyond what is accepted truth with the game. The game director had previously claimed the game would be used to teach players about the Sengoku era, and he wrote, "We're at the end of the Sengoku era in a turning point of Japan history." Assassin's Creed is well known for its depiction of history and accurate recreation of the world and what its players can expect in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it had previously been delayed. It has, gone through a lot of criticism, but it doesn't seem like they're really listening to us. The only
Of course they're not listening. They're putting this out in Black History Month. Also, there is the argument that dumb people are making that, oh, Assassin's Creed was never about being historically accurate. Well, first of all, the devs, as you just heard, have multiple times come out and themselves said that this is supposed to be a historic thing. And yes, I mean, I agree. Assassin's Creed in general has not always been history. It's been alternative fictional history to a degree. But it does at least try to represent fairly the things that it's represent. Okay? But Assassin's Creed Shadows, by the way, the Assassin's Creed game that should have if they didn't fuck this up, if they didn't decide to make this woke, could have probably sold 50 million copies, in my opinion. I'm just gonna say it straight out. If they did not decide to vocify Assassin's Creed Shadows, this would have been the Assassin's Creed that sells 50 million copies. Because people have been begging for a Japanese Assassin's Creed, or at bare minimum Eastern Assassin's Creed. And yet we never really got it. And now we get it in this woke mess that's probably gonna sell maybe 2 million copies? Fuck. They had a chance to literally sell tens of millions of copies. And they blew it. And for what? A couple of brownie points from people who are gonna forget that they exist in 2 days after the game releases. Man, what a worthwhile move. What a worthwhile investment. What a sad and pathetic life. Anyway, that was a very dark 10 out of 10. Here you are, 10 out of 10. Bye!